So much. Judy. Let's see, where are you, Judy? There you are, Judy.
Deep inside, I'm like a hummingbird outside my window, letting about like a whirlwind, going from one thing to another, as I drink from the fountain, at the fountain of life, hoping to be strength for my family, the conundrum of this diseased body of mine.
That was stunningly beautiful. There was such a tenderness in it, and that hummingbird image, that fluttering, that beautiful fluttering, and that nectar, trying to feed your family. And it is a conundrum, isn't it? That was beautiful. Thank you.
Font is a good word. That was a good image. You said font, right, Judy? F-O-N-T.
Fountain.
Oh, fountain. Still good.
Thank you, Judy. Thank you for being willing to be first. Sometimes it's hard to be the person that breaks the silence. So much. Judy. Let's see, where are you, Judy? There you are, Judy.
Deep inside, I'm like a hummingbird outside my window, letting about like a whirlwind, going from one thing to another, as I drink from the fountain, at the fountain of life, hoping to be strength for my family, the conundrum of this diseased body of mine.
That was stunningly beautiful. There was such a tenderness in it, and that hummingbird image, that fluttering, that beautiful fluttering, and that nectar, trying to feed your family. And it is a conundrum, isn't it? That was beautiful. Thank you.
Font is a good word. That was a good image. You said font, right, Judy? F-O-N-T.
Fountain.
Oh, fountain. Still good.
Thank you, Judy. Thank you for being willing to be first. Sometimes it's hard to be the person that breaks the silence. And Phil, did you want to go?
Okay. I am like a lighthouse, scanning all 360 degrees. Each time I swoop by, I have to untwist my knees. I am a helper, a beacon in the dark. Many times I save nothing, and I think this is just a lark. But when I spot trouble, when trouble spots me, I focus on the screams below, and with light I set them free.
Oh, lovely, 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 lovely. Oh,
I don't know if we're supposed to necessarily rhyme. I don't think we're supposed to do anything really, right?
Yeah, the great thing about poetry is that there's no supposed to. You get to, it's the one form of writing that you get to do any way you want to. E.E. Cummings threw away all the capital letters and the punctuation because he just didn't like them. You really get to do it any way you want. But I love that. I never rhymed well, and so I didn't rhyme. And then lately I found that I've had some accidental rhyme in my, sort of more of a rhythm that showed up in some accidental rhyme and I thought, maybe there's some resolution that happens in that, as well. Plus all music is written that way. But I love that line too about, trying to spot the trouble or with the trouble spots you. But I love, sometimes I save nothing, but like, if you weren't there and there was something to save, what then, right?
If an emergency happens, does a tree fall in the forest or something along those lines?
Exactly. Yeah. Hopefully the lighthouse never sees trouble. Hopefully no one is ever in danger on the rocks. But thank God the lighthouse is there for maybe those moments.
Did you start to rhyme when you started to drink wine?
No.
Okay. Here, the hook.
I think a lot of limericks were written that way.
Okay. Right.
Thank you so much. Yes. Leslie, will you share? And
Yes, I'd like to.
thank you.
Deep inside, I am like a river gushing forth from the center of the earth, seeking to find and resuscitate those thirsty ones, longing for nourishment.
Mm.
Difficulty lies in me, holding fast to the hidden wish denied, that I too long for nourishment. For what I seek is to know and be known. And I'll try to decipher the last line. What is it that holds me back?
Mm.
What help me lean in? If I listen, I may hear.
Yes.
This is
Absolutely.
the essence of my challenge in life, actually.
I love that. I kind of want to hear the whole thing again because there were so many images, and I try to take notes so I can go back to them. But coming from the center of the earth, the river coming from deep inside the center of the earth, and you try to find and resuscitate. And I couldn't write any more than that because I was listening to the next line. But that find and resuscitate, like that sheer kindness inside of us, right? I believe we all have it. I think it's trained out of some people, it's beaten out of some people, but there's a sheer sort of a holy human kindness in us that wants to be of service somewhere, wants to help, wants to contribute, wants to, have meaning, a reason for being, right? I love that find and resuscitate. And then also that question, I didn't get to write it down, but what do I need? What feeds the river, right? What will feed the river? And you could even, if you want, follow that, what does feed the river? The rain of, kindness from loved ones, or you could figure out, we can sort of do the backward metaphor and ask ourselves, what is it that feeds me if I was the river?
I think of the reflecting, where the river pulls in a quiet place, and
yeah,
the mirroring that you didn't receive as a child.
Beautifully.
You, but it was really your parent, the
Exactly.
accurate reflection of your true self.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, that was so gorgeous. Thank you. And again, somehow getting to hear these images, it's like auditory medicine for me. They're so soothing, right? They're even when people write about difficulties that are going on, the earnestness itself is soothing. It's comforting to not have to be part of the truth all the time. I'll show you this much of me, but there's a whole bunch back here that's not going very well, so I'm not showing you that part. And so
I'm withholding it.
Yeah. And so I love when we get to have safe places to be true. And that's what I tell the kids that I work with too. I think the way to measure a good poem is, how true was it? How true could we be? Yes, Douglas and Paul.
Hi there. I've gone ahead and volunteered my old man here. He was too shy, but I thought it would be worth sharing.
Thank you so much.
Certainly. He spoke and I just wrote. So here we go. It's called Deep Inside. I have become again a late student. Ahead of me was a friend who said, "Hey, can I read your poem?" What poem? The one that's due today. I was facing death. I didn't get the news until too late. Liberal education, literal exhaustion. I did not finish this poem, but I finished the truth of what I was writing. Seeking embarrassment, improvising furiously if needed. It wasn't about the grade. Somewhere within the innovation process, I recognized the desperation. I told myself I was not prepared for this type of change in this world. I was wrong.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for that. That was absolutely beautiful. That was, okay. It felt so much like all of our lives, like, oh my gosh, I'm the late student, I don't have the assignment. It's like all the scary dreams I have about not being prepared for something, and then winging it and trying to make it through, and then finding out you were right where you were meant to be learning. It felt like that was gorgeous. Thank you. Thank you for that. I'm sorry, I couldn't quite hear you because I couldn't hear you because, could you say again?
I want to point out this is based on a true happening. I was not arrested for this or anything like that. It was very helpful to have my son here
Yeah.
telling me that I don't have enough laundry to keep me away. So we'll work on it, folks. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let's see. Would anybody else be willing to read, please? Oh, Ruthie, I see your hand. And thank you.
Talking about rhyming, and actually when I went by the pattern, I didn't think about rhyming, but then I also thought about every day.
Yeah.
I have lots of poems coming through me, and I'm talking in my head or outside, but there's no recording. I guess sometimes I think I'd probably need to put a recorder on me because
Your phone has one.
I would
Most of them.
never, pardon?
Your phone, most phones have like a voice
I
memo.
don't carry that around with me.
Okay, fair enough.
Anyway, but I thought, well, they'll come back sometime, or maybe they won't. I don't know, because I would never remember what they were, but they were rhyming. This, I don't know whether this probably doesn't rhyme at all, because I went by.
Wonderful.
Okay, deep inside, I'm like a ball of energy, anxiously, but forced to patiently wait for the time when I am allowed to release the creative new and/or unattained aspirations.
Mm.
My mind has been so ready, but my body wants to make it difficult. During this time of being forced to be still and keep this creativity at bay, I am able to see thoughts, insights, revelations, memories, blessings, people, and the world in a different way, in different ways. Also revealing things I thought I knew, but realizing that life is continual growth of seeing that you really don't know what you thought you knew, and how you can use the growth to help others see things in different ways.
Yes, 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 yes. I love that. So, the mind is ready, but the body, is holding back.
My body and my mind fight all the time.
Exactly. Exactly. But in that being forced to be still, then all those memories and ideas and thoughts and learnings and all that stuff that then you can share. I love your poem so much because it reminds me that I wondered early on in life if I could make my own meaning out of anything that happened. Like if something happened difficult in my family, did I have to keep it as a difficulty, or could I find how it could help me become a better person in some way? And so you had the stillness that came, whether you wanted to or not, the ball of energy that's made to be still. But then all this beauty came out of it, all of these memories and, all of those things. And the beautiful line about whenever we think we've learned something, we realize we haven't yet. And there's more to see. And in our busy, moving lives, how sometimes, it's amazing to be still. I guess sometimes we're forced to, and it doesn't feel wonderful to be forced, but
it's hard for me to be still. So I keep learning. I guess that's why my body and my mind aren't together, because I keep wanting to do what I used to do when I can't do it. So I just have to say, okay, I'm sorry. Okay, body, you want me to be still again. Okay. But someday I keep feeling I haven't given up on overcoming this.
Yeah.
I don't know where everybody doesn't. I mean, the medical, they're good, but they don't know everything.
Right.
They don't know the fortitude that you have in you or what's going to be brought to you. So
absolutely true. Absolutely true. But I would say too, I know you say you have these thoughts and then you don't have a way to record them. I have like little notebooks like this that I could stick in my shirt pocket or my sock or my water bottle holder or something, so I can always go somewhere with a sheet of paper and a little pen with me, just in case you wanted to just start carrying around.
I would probably never do that. It would have to be an automatic recording, something that just keeps going, because I would
Yeah.
never stop to do that. I would just, because it comes when I'm doing other things.
Of course.
My mind and my body are just going all the time.
Yes. But thank you for sharing that. That was gorgeous. The gifts that come from the stillness, even when the stillness is forced. Thank you. Yes, please, Emily.
Okay, I'm unmuted.
Thank you.
When I looked at the deep inside, an image of the ocean came to me, currents. So I wrote, gypsy ocean current flowing with tides in the faces of the moon, arriving, leaving, with wild heart and itchy soul. Home is everywhere and nowhere.
That was gorgeous. That was gorgeous. I almost see it like a painting on a, on a card or something, like that wild gypsy, that the beauty of that coming and going, the itchy soul. I love that. What was the line just before itchy soul? The something.
Wild heart.
Wild heart and itchy soul. I like that. I like that. That was really beautiful. It almost looked like a painting inside of my mind. I could see all the depths and the colors, and thank you. Yes, Doris, please.
Okay, and I also want to echo that I love the wild heart and itchy soul. That was just such a beautiful line. That was great.
And I'll say too that each person's poem sort of almost like spotlights a part of ourselves that we might have forgotten about in some way. And I think I used to have a wild heart and itchy soul. Where did that go? Thank you, Doris.
Okay, here we go. Deep inside, I am like a Roomba vacuum cleaner, clearing the space in front of me. I am cordless, so I can go in any direction, wherever my instincts lead. I am mindful to be careful that I don't fall off the edge of the stairs or get tangled in the fringe of Turkish carpets. I have a powerful and long-lasting motor for energy, yet must be plugged in to rest and restore my power source. By vacuuming the dirt up from my path, I can appreciate the clean and clear surroundings that make up my life, thus freeing me to explore any path that beckons.
Yay, that was great. I love that line. When I vacuum up the dirt from my past, can you read the rest of that line to me? I am the clean and clear around you.
I can appreciate the clean and clear surroundings that make up my life.
And
thus freeing me to explore any path that beckons.
Stunning, 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 stunning. And I love that too, because for me, I feel like I want to clean up my messes before I leave the world. We're human, we're going to make a million mistakes, but I want to clean up my mistakes if I can. I want to say all my thank yous and my I love yous and my I'm sorries before I go, that I owe people, and clean up. And that feels like that same kind of feeling that I got from your poem, that I want to then is clean and clear in any path that beckons me. Then I can go because I'm not held back by those old pieces. That was gorgeous. I thought it was so funny that you got the Roomba vacuum too. And I love that it was cordless.
I don't know where that came from.
but I love that set. I think it's that dream part of our mind that sends us little, message in a bottle, right from the back of our mind to the front of our mind. But the fact that it was cordless, all this intuition that it has not to go over the stairs or get tangled in the Turkish fringe, all of that beautiful intuitive knowing that it has. Never would have thought of that in a vacuum. I love it. Lynn, would you read?
Deep down, I'm like let me start over. Deep down, I'm like a dragonfly, wishing to fly free of negativity, disappointment, pain, and selfishness. Instead, to reach for the sun for hope and optimism. Like a dragonfly, I feel determined to remain strong no matter what comes my way. I reach for gratitude and in addition look for all the gifts of life, which I mostly find in nature, family, and friends. My wings are the strength I receive from my amazing support group, Shakers Anonymous. The group is the wind beneath my wings that helps me soar. They are not Parkinson's patients, but Parkinson's warriors.
Oh my gosh. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love the image of that dragonfly. They're magic, right? And so that tells me about all that sort of iridescent magic in you, which is its own sort of, I mean, it almost uplifts itself, that those, that iridescence. And I love that you are wishing to fly free of that. But I love the line, reaching for gratitude. That was stunning, because we're all reaching for something. And, for the first part of my life, all I paid attention to was what might be wrong, and now I'm like wanting to looking for what might be wonderful. Right. And I love that, reaching for gratitude. Way to have your priorities in a beautiful order. Way to go.
Thank
Stunning.
you.
Joan, would you share?
Yeah, this is where I am today. Deep inside, I am like a whirlpool, swirling and spinning, sometimes with joy, sometimes with confusion, sometimes with deep energy, sometimes overwhelm, wishing to be able to see all the information that is speeding by, the knowledge, thoughts, feelings, experiences. And the point of it all is in there somewhere, maybe in the middle, where I am, maybe in the watching, where I am, maybe in the wishing, where I am.
Ah, lovely, lovely. And I love how it could be spinning with this joy and also confusion. It's, and yeah, trying to just, there's too much in the world to learn to ever be able to learn everything or know everything. But I love when you said again, what the point of it all is in here somewhere.
Right. Right.
And
yeah.
Maybe it's right here where I am, because again, each of us is the only one who can possibly know the answer to those two questions. Who am I and what am I here for? No one outside us can tell us. They could give us a lot of advice we may or may not ask for, but they don't know, because they're not in there listening to the particular pulls and draws and intuitions of you in the center there with the wishing. That was gorgeous. Thank you.
Thank you. And I started another one about, I'll just tell you the beginning of the next one.
Please.
My heart is like my garden. There are some plants that were put there on purpose, and a bunch more that grew there on their own. Maybe a gift from the neighbors, or maybe a weed from the past that has deep roots and keeps popping up to remind me of my history and humanity. Some flowers bloom when I remember to water. Some fruit ripens at the right time and in its own season.
Ooh.
Thank you.
Kirsten, will you share?
And I was inspired by Phil's headgear today. So deep inside, I am like a baseball cap, doing my best to cover up fear, sadness, anxiety, a bad hair day, while offering supportive words like a cheerleader for a favorite sports team, or a slogan for a worthy cause, or something that makes me smile. Hoping my message is heard with the passion and love intended, knowing there's a lot going on underneath.
Oh, beautiful. I love that too, because, sometimes we kind of put a mask on so people can't see, and other times we could put on a cap. So, there's all this going on underneath. I'll let you see it, but I'm still going to try to lift your spirits here and share you. That's lovely. That's lovely. That's not hiding, but acknowledging all the parts and choosing to give off something sweet. Thank you. Thank you. Jen, will you share?
Deep inside, I am like a tree, my trunk stable and solid, with my roots collecting nourishment from nature. I am not the mother tree, but part of a worldwide community of shared needs for water, light, food, family, and connection to one another. I thrive within this community, allowing me to grow and change. My branches reaching up and outwards, seeking to find and taste new air. There are other trees around me who give me shade when I need it, and my leaves are always eager to shade and embrace others in need. There are storms and fire that come and try to take our forest down. But together, our roots are strong and we are resilient.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And I got such this community feeling in the tree, but then the forest, and then these, then the air and the roots suckling up all the nutrients and the stability and the solidness, and what you give, but what you gain in this exchange, just like the carbon dioxide oxygen exchange of of trees, how we can't live without them and they can't live without us. In that way, it feels like you do the same thing in your work and in your life. Isn't it gorgeous to be invisibly connected like this? I mean, we're separate bodies, but we're breathing each other all day long. Part of all of the air that's ever been breathed by any human in the world has gone through my lungs also. And we're part of each other in that way. And that's the feeling I got from your poem, that gorgeousness of sharing that. Danielle, would you like to read?
Sure.
Yay!
It's very short and it needs to be added to, but I'll give you what I have here.
Thank you.
Deep inside, I'm like a delicate flower blowing in the wind, the beauty of which is unparalleled and only wants to bring joy and happiness into the world.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Oh, thank
Gorgeous,
you.
Gorgeous. Again, every poem is, to me, it feels like either a little movie or a little painting of some kind, that suddenly I've got an entire art gallery installation in my head from these poems, right? And they're so soothing to just have floating around inside of me. I just love it. So this is what I wrote when we were all writing, and I suddenly fell into inquiry, and it's another one of my favorite poetic elements, where you just ask questions, and even if you don't know the answers, just keep asking the questions. And then I fell into the deep inside part after, at the end. So how deep are the depths inside of me? How much of this thing I call me is there to go find? If I lower myself into the well inside, will I find the underground spring of me and be able to follow it back high up into the mountains and then back up into the sky, into the clouds of heaven? Is that where we've all come from? What caused us to fall? Or did we jump at the chance to come to the world and create beauty? Were we hopeful? Were we scared? Were we brave and ready to be suckled up into some amazing growing thing that could teach us all the secrets of blooming? Deep inside, I can feel the water of me warming, wanting to be comforting to anything around me. I want to be like walking bath water, wanting to soothe every soul that's willing to be near me. I want to share one more middle school girl poem from, 2014, I think. And she was so quiet. She barely spoke in this summer 2-week program that we had at Seattle Center Academy. And so we were writing this same poem, and she called this poem Hidden. So deep inside, I am so hidden. A crystal seen only when the rock is split. The sweet cherry surrounded by a mask of dark chocolate. Nectar of a closed flower, soon to make honey, but not yet. Hidden beauty kept a secret until sun shines, teeth bite, chisel cracks, and then bursting forth for all to see. I just love that.
Wow.
Everything they write. I just love everything that falls out of people so earnestly when we just give it an opening. Just take a paper and pencil. Don't judge. Don't have to read. Just make an opening. Let it fall out, and see what we learn from ourselves, about our movements with others in the world, and how we can do all of it in a better and even sweeter way than we've ever known how to before. And I think poetry can be, it can be the flashlight and shovel. It can be the scalpel if we need a surgery to let out some of the pain and the difficulty. And, it can be the window into us that helps us see in our own chest. And I think we can let it help us with millions of things. So please resort to poetry. whenever you need. That's so soothing. These classes for me are more beautiful. Like I said, I didn't grow up in a very safe family, and so I don't go to family gatherings because there's a lot of dangerous people there. But these to me feel like what I thought family gatherings might feel like in a family that where the people were kind to one another and really wanted to hear what each other had to say, and were, like had that intimacy of kindness between one another. So thank you. I get to have my greatest sense of family, besides with my two sons, with people in my classes, and I'm so grateful for it.